My name is Katherine. This is Katherine Stitching Chronicles, my channel where I talk about my love of all things cross stitch. And welcome to Flosstube number 10. So I've come out with quite a few videos lately, but it's actually been about a month since my last regular Flosstube update. So that's what I'll be talking about today. All of my progress basically since about the middle of December. So some of the things that I'll be showing today, I have already shown in my whip and finish parades. But I'm going to show them here again in case you missed those videos. But please go ahead and check those out if you're interested. I did a few kind of like end of year recap videos and they were super fun to film. A lot of what I'll be talking about as well has to do with my overall stitching plans and goals for 2025. I also have a video about this. So let me know in the comments what you've been working on in the last couple of weeks. And if there's any big like stitching plans that you have coming up in the year, because I'd love to hear about them. So I have a lot to talk about today, so I'm just going to dive right in and share my latest dyeing project. There we go. So this is a piece of pink Aida that I bought at Michael's. I believe it was their store brand called Loops and Threads. And I just over dyed it with a darker reddish pink. So I dyed this to use to stitch on the latest Valentine's Day sampler from Sprouting Lupine. That's called Butterfly Bouquet. So myself and another stitcher over on Instagram, her handle is Clancy's X Stitch. I'll link her below as well. We decided to do a start along for this design because it is so absolutely beautiful. And it was really popular on Instagram. I saw lots of people posting and talking about it. So we decided to put together a start along. So we will be starting tomorrow, January 14th, which is exactly a month before Valentine's Day, which felt appropriate. So the hashtag that we'll be using for the stitch along is hashtag butterfly bouquet sal. And if you want to head over to Instagram, we do have a few more details posted there as well. But yeah, we will be starting tomorrow and we're both very, very excited about it. So feel free to use the hashtag, post photos, tag us in it. We'd love to see all of it. So yeah, this is the fabric that I dyed for it. It's similar to the called for, which is toe beans from Bestitch Me, but I just decided to dye my own. And I have the threads here. I was a little bit worried that some of the lighter pinks would get kind of lost on here, but I think I'm in the clear actually. They might blend in a little bit, but should be okay. I've got my flosses on this plastic card like thread holder thing. I got a big pack of them on Amazon and I was kind of inspired to store my flosses this way by Megan, the Seattle Stitcher. She has a lot of cards like this. And in the past, usually I've just had a floss ring that I put like a thread bobbin directly on. But the problem that I'm having is that I have so many projects kitted up and like having an entire bobbin of DMC in a bag with one project just isn't really working for me anymore. So I'm trying to do more like kitted up on cards like this or on floss drops. And so far I'm really liking it. So thank you, Megan, for the inspo. But from here on out, I think I'm gonna kit up most of my projects like this, unless it's just like a little small thing that is not gonna be holding the bobbin in a bag for too long. But for longer term projects, this is definitely the way to go for me. Next, I wanted to share some fully finished items that I got back from the framers. One of them I actually just picked up this weekend, so it's very new. So I want to share those. The first one is Jeweled Baubles from Shannon Christine Designs. And this actually might be one of my favorite framed finishes ever. It's so gorgeous. Here it is. So I just got this done at Michael's. I think they did a really great job. Usually I get glass on my framed pieces, but this one has some really big like jewels on it, and this was my first time attaching like big treasures like this, and the way that I did it, I'm not really sure why, but like they just don't want to lie flat. So I didn't want to get glass on here and have some of them be like askew and then not be able to fix them. So I decided not to get glass. But it's fine because it's also a Christmas piece. Like it's not like I'm gonna have this hanging year round. So I'm like a little bit less worried about it. But yeah, like, isn't it gorgeous? The mat is velvet, which is kind of new for me. And then I added this gold fillet, and I'm not sure if it's really gonna translate on camera, if you're really gonna be able to see, but the inside, oh my gosh, the inside edge of the frame is actually dark red as well. And when you look at it up close, like it looks like brushed, like a brushed finish, and you can kind of see some dark red like in the background almost. I'm really not sure if it's going to translate on camera, but it's so gorgeous. I'm so happy with it. So it looks exactly like how I envisioned it when I went in to get it framed. So I love it. My next frame finish I've actually had framed for a while. I just haven't gotten around to hanging it up. And that is Belle from Brooks Books Publishing. I've shown several of these on my channel before. I absolutely love them. Unfortunately, the designer Brooke Nolan passed recently, and I was very, very sad to hear that she had passed away. And that really kind of inspired me to get this out and finally find a spot to hang it up in her memory. I absolutely loved her designs. I stitched a lot of the princess dresses and many of her other designs as well. So I definitely want to hang this up soon, and I'll find a spot on my wall behind me to display this one. So I stitched this on just a random piece of blue 28 count linen that I had. I have no idea what it is, but I remember at the time I picked it as a nice contrast to all the yellow in here. So as with all of my other princesses, I love her, and in my next video, hopefully she will be on the wall behind me. Okay, so now to get into my actual stitching progress. So we'll go back to my WIPGO projects from December. And the first one was Fall Mandala from Mill Hill. This was in a little kit, and I finished this in December. So this is a seasonal series of which I have all 4. So eventually I will be getting around to stitching the other 3. But for now, I just have the one, and I really like it. It's very cute. This is big for a Mill Hill kit. A lot of the ones that I've done are the smaller kits done on perforated paper. This is my first Mill Hill kit actually on fabric. But yeah, it was fun. I'm excited to do the other seasons. Okay, my other WIPGO project from December was Luna Mystica from Bella Filipina, and my goal was to stitch on this 10 times in a month. And I did, and this is how far I got. So this is 28 count Mystic Lugana from Picture This Plus. It's a gorgeous dark blue, which really allows all those beautiful colors to pop. I'm pretty happy with how far I got on this one, actually, considering this was a new start. And I'm really excited to work on this again this year. Oh, she's so pretty. And I'm keeping this one in a new project bag that I got since my last video. So this is another bag from Jasmine Custom Bags with strawberry shortcake on the front. I was a huge fan of strawberry shortcake in my youth, so I could not resist this bag. She posted a video when she was doing the custom embroidery for the front, and that is what prompted me to turn on my post notifications so that I did not miss it when she posted this bag for sale. And I think I probably claimed it like within the first minute of it being posted on Instagram. So I love her. So I did quite a bit of other stitching in the last half of December, including a couple more finishes. So my next finish is the Study of Skulls stitch along from the Stitch Crypt. And this is stitched on 28 count Topaz Lugana from Fiber on a Whim. So this was a really fun stitch along. Obviously it's not framed yet, but I have several frames in my stash. And I'm quite confident that I have just like a black frame that this will fit in. I'm calling this a finish. It's like 99.9% finished. I do want to backstitch some hands on the clock. There weren't any in the pattern, but it was kind of like, if you want to add them, you can. And a few people commented some ideas in my last video, and the one that I like, I think, is the date that I finished it. And that was December 20th. So at some point before I frame this, I will put hands on the clock to show the time 12:20. So that's that finish. My other finish from the second half of December. Oh my gosh, my cat is outside in the hall having a bit of a fit. So if you can hear that, I do apologize. My second finish from the second half of December was my Winter Woodland Star. So this was a Jingle Ball class from Hello from Liz Matthews. And I finished the stitching during the Jingle Ball, and then I actually finished it in the week or two following the Jingle Ball. I'll show you the back quickly too, which is not perfect, but not bad, all things considered. I love this. This is one of my favorite things I think that I've ever made. I just think it's so beautiful, and this beaded trim is just so cute, and I'm so happy with how this turned out. I stitched this on 28 count Milk and Honey Lugana from Fiber on a Whim. It was just a neutral that I had in my stash. And then the backing fabric I actually found at Walmart, so not too bad. I also started another project before the end of the month, and that was Within a Dream from the Artsy Housewife. So this is a Patreon exclusive. I haven't gotten very far on it. I just worked on this for a day or two, but it's looking really good so far. And my friend Stitchy Mess named Jess over on Instagram is also stitching this, and she's gotten a lot further than I have. But yeah, it's looking good so far. This is a piece of 40 count linen from Forbidden Fiber Co. And it was from a grab bag of misdyed fabrics. So this isn't something that you can purchase, but I love Forbidden Fiber Co. fabrics. And so this is, I mean, it's nice to stitch on, but it doesn't have a name or anything. I'm using some of the called for, a lot of the called for actually. Fancy flosses. There's a few Gentle Arts that I'm using. I did sub out a few of them for their DMC equivalents. And then I swapped in a couple of my own over-dyed flosses that I had in stash as well. Hang on, the flosses are kind of a mess here. But like, look at how pretty all of these are. So nice. And this one I'm keeping in a project bag from Sheba Designs. I love this tulip pink fabric. Could not resist the bright colors and like the dinosaurs. I mean, come on, it's just so fun. All right, so now to get into my January stitching. First up is the Heaven and Earth Designs 2025 stitch along. So the chart that I chose is called Jelly World, and I'll put up a picture of what that chart looks like. So I actually started this at the end of December. They very kindly released the first part before January 1st, so I did get a little bit of stitching in, and this is what it looked like the last time you saw it in my WIP parade at the end of 2024. And this is how it looks now. So my goal on this one is to do about 4,000 stitches per month. And the point of doing that is to get a 6 full page finish by the end of 2025. And the reward for completing that much will be access to the other 11 charts that were offered in the stitch along. So that's my goal. So far this month, I have done 1,979 stitches, which brings me to 10.8% complete of the first part that was released. So I'm making good progress so far. I am. And I am on target to reach my 4,000 stitches this month, because I'm basically at 2,000 now and it's only the 13th. So we're on track. I'm struggling a little bit with this just because like I like to go from WIP to WIP. I don't often work on the very same project for multiple days in a row. And so I'm finding that I have to work on this like basically every single day, which is fine, but it can be tiresome sometimes when like I don't really feel like working on it. And also, so obviously I'm parking my threads if this wasn't a dead giveaway. And I am following the Royal Rose method. I'm not like super strict with it. I will kind of park where I feel makes sense, or like if there's a row of stitches that kind of goes over into the next tower, I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch it. But I am like mostly following it. And this section in particular, this orange, was hell. It was confetti hell. So it was so time consuming to finish this part here. And like, it's so thick because there's just so many threads and so much parking, and like, it was just insane to get through this part. So I kind of got stuck in there. I'm hoping that the whole like rest of the chart isn't going to be quite as bad for the confetti, but I'm also kind of thinking that like maybe when I get to really confetti heavy parts like that, I might switch up the method a little bit, because like Royal Rose in that section was not good. But I'm kind of out of it now. This edge here is the edge of the first page. So I've done the width of the first page and down 4 rows. I was going to continue downwards, but I kind of want to get into the other blues and stuff over here. So I'm going to carry over and do, I think, the width of the second page and then see what I want to do. But it is looking really good though. Like, it looks insanely cool. So I'm going to keep pushing through. And I'll just quickly show you my needle minder on here as well. This is from Pigeon Coop Designs. Very cute little kind of desert needle minder. Kind of ironic, I guess, that I have a desert themed needle minder on a piece that's underwater. I didn't really think that through, but oh well. Next up is the Blackwater Siren stitch along from Bella Filipina Designs. So up to this point, we are working on part 4. And part 5 is coming out, I believe next week, but if that's wrong, then I'll put the correct date on screen. So the last time you saw this in my WIP parade, this is how far I was. And now this is where I'm at. So this is part 4. She is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I've done quite a bit of this. I still have quite a ways to go, but I think I should be able to get it done by next week, no problem. I am just gonna finish up like her tail area and then reposition my Q-snap, and I'll come up and finish her hair and her face and everything. But yeah, it's beautiful. So this is a piece of 28 count linen that I dyed myself. And I love it. And this little needle binder has, hopefully you can see, it's pretty shiny, but it's got a little bee on it, and that was a gift from my sister. So by the next release, yeah, my plan is to do all of the DMC stitching. I am still waiting for my shipment of specialty threads, but they have finally left the United States. Yay, they've been stuck in Chicago for like over a month. But now that the Canada Post strike is finished, things are moving again, and they made it into Canada last week. So I'm hoping that they'll be delivered like maybe this week, but we'll see. At least they're in the country, so we're making progress. But yeah, I will finish all the DMC stitching. I will go back and do all of the specialty thread stitches when I get them, and then probably do backstitch after that, but I will be keeping all the beading until the end. So even once I have her like DMC stitched, there's still a lot to do. This sal is huge. Like the finished product is going to be gigantic, and I'm not mad about it, but it's a lot of stitching. And I'm also keeping this one in a bag from Jasmine Custom Bags. This is what it looks like. I love her bags, if you couldn't tell. Next up is one of my Whipco projects for this month, and that is Urduja from Bella Filipina Designs. And my goal is to stitch on this 5 times this month. So I'll put up a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw it in my whip braid. And this is how she's looking now. So far this month, I've stitched on it 3 times. So I'll pull it back out 2 more times. I really wanted to get into all these beautiful colors in her tail. Like you can see her bottom fin has all these like colorful bits in it. I don't even know what to call that, but yeah, just like her bottom fin. So I wanted to get all those colors in there, and they are just absolutely stunning. And this is stitched on 28 count resolution Lugana from Fiber on a Whim. Not Fiber on a Whim, Forbidden Fiber Co. Sorry. I love this. That's all. I love it. I think the other 2 times that I'm going to work on this, I'm not really sure if I want to keep coming down here, or I might come back up and fill in some of this tail area. I'm not quite sure. But I love working on this, so whatever I choose to work on will be enjoyable. Next up, I have a new start, and that is 8 Maids and Milking from Nora Corbett, which is part of the 12 Days of Christmas series. I am stitching all 12. So far I've completed 4, and I would like to finish the other 8 by the end of the year. So I started her and worked on it once, and this is how far I've gotten. This is the called for fabric, which is 28 count even weave in the color China Pearl. It's just like a basic kind of off-white color. So she's cute. I like it so far. This one I think is probably one of the densest ones. Like this entire middle like third is solid stitching. There's just so much stitching on this one. They really vary from day to day, like the amount of stitching, the amount of beads. Some of them are really bead heavy. Some of them, like this one, are really stitch heavy. So I suspect this one might take me a little bit longer to get done, but I mean, I did all of this in one sitting, so it might go quicker than I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, I would have hoped to have pulled it out more than once by now, but I'm just happy with the fact that at least I've got it started. As far as haul, I don't have that much to show today. I already showed you my new strawberry shortcake project bag, which I love. My other big haul item that I just received yesterday was my mermaid mystery box from Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I actually went live and did an unboxing video on that because I was really excited to open it up. And I do have it saved on my channel, so if you want to watch it, you can go ahead and check out that video. But I loved all of the contents of the box so much, and I can't wait to start the projects that were in there. I did realize though that I forgot to show one little thing that was in the box. So if you watched that video, or if you've been like in the Facebook group, you'll know that there were some delays with shipping the boxes. There were some delays in shipping the boxes in general, but there were extra delays in shipping the boxes to Canada due to the postal strike. So obviously not the fault of Autumn Lane Stitchery at all. But for those of us in Canada who have had to wait so long for our boxes, they included a little Christmas freebie in our box just to apologize for the delay, which I thought was such a nice gesture. And I forgot to show this in my unboxing video, so I'm going to show it here. This is Frosty the Snowman from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I did pick this one. They made a post in the Facebook group so we could let them know if we had a preference of which one we wanted. And I chose this one. My mom loves snowmen, and like a lot of her winter and Christmas decorations are snowman themed. So surprise mom, if you're watching, I'm probably gonna make you this. So I love him, and it was just a really nice little gift, and very much appreciated. So I love him. Okay, so to talk about plans for the next couple of weeks, the biggest one will of course be the Butterfly Bouquet start along. That will be starting tomorrow. So again, don't forget to tag myself and Clancy's X Stitch on Instagram if you decide you want to join in. We'd love to see your progress, and also don't forget to use the hashtag Butterfly Bouquet Sal. So that's my biggest and like most imminent plan that's coming up. Aside from that, I will of course be continuing with my Heaven and Earth Design stitch along. I still have another 2,000-ish stitches to go this month, so I'm going to keep powering through. I will finish my Whip Go progress on Urduja. I will also work on my other Whip Go project for the month, which is the Dark Queen of the Sea from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I also have 5 days of work to do on this project this month, so I'd like to pull that out at some point. And then also continuing on 8 Maids of Milking from Nora Corbett. I have 8 to do by the end of the year. There's 12 months in the year. So ideally I would finish 1 day of Christmas every month and a half or so. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna pull that one out when I can and see how far I can get. So those are my plans for the next couple of weeks. I wish you all the best and enjoy your stitching time until I talk to you next. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.